When the soul breaks, when the heart feels too heavy to lift, when life's burdens become too overwhelming to bear, that is when Allah, the one who restores every broken soul, reveals His mercy in the most beautiful way. You see, we all go through moments when we feel shattered, not because of one great tragedy, but because of 1,000 small disappointments, failures, and heartbreaks that pile up over time. You wake up one day and realize you're no longer who you used to be. Your energy is gone, your passion has faded, your faith feels distant. But even in that brokenness, Allah has not abandoned you. He is closer to you in those moments than ever before. The cracks you see within yourself are not signs of weakness, they are the spaces where His light enters. When Allah allows the heart to break, it is not to destroy it, but to purify it. Sometimes He removes what you love so you can return to the one who truly loves you. Sometimes He lets you taste the bitterness of loss so you can rediscover the sweetness of His remembrance. And sometimes He brings you to the lowest point so that you finally raise your eyes to Him, realizing there was never anyone else who could truly heal you. Allah's restoration is not like the world's version of repair. When He restores, He doesn't return you to what you were before He makes you something entirely new, something stronger, purer, and more alive. The pain you thought would destroy you becomes the very reason you found yourself again. Think of how many times in life you felt lost, hopeless, unsure of the next step, yet somehow, through a verse, a prayer, a tear that fell at night, Allah lifted you. You didn't even realize how it happened. One day you were broken, and the next, your heart began to breathe again. That is Allah's work in you. He is Al-Jabbar, the one who mends what no one else can. You may not even notice it as it happens, but every sigh, every tear, every whisper of Ya Allah, help me, becomes a thread in the tapestry of your healing. You only need to stay sincere, to keep turning toward Him even when it hurts. Too often we think strength is about pretending we are fine, about smiling when we are breaking inside. But true strength is found in surrender, in admitting to Allah that you are weak, that you need Him, that you cannot fix your heart on your own. The one who bows before Allah in pain rises before people in peace. The one who seeks help from creation remains restless, but the one who seeks help from the Creator finds serenity. Your brokenness is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your return. Every time you go through hardship, Allah is teaching your heart to detach from the temporary and anchor itself in the eternal. He is training your soul to understand that no matter what this world takes from you, as long as you have Him, you are never truly empty. You can lose wealth, people, dreams, and opportunities, but you cannot lose the one who created them. That realization alone is the start of healing. So, when life feels unbearable, when you feel too fragile to continue, remember that you are not alone in your pain. Allah knows every tear before it falls, every thought before you speak it, every ache before you even name it. He has seen your silent battles, and He promises verily, with hardship comes ease. The ease may not come in the way you imagine, but it always comes. And when it does, you'll look back and realize that your breaking was never a curse. It was the mercy that brought you home. You're not tired, you've simply lost the discipline of your soul. There is a difference between being physically exhausted and being spiritually disconnected. We live in a time where every small challenge feels like a mountain because our hearts have become lazy, not our bodies. We tell ourselves, I'm tired. But what we truly mean is, I've lost consistency. I've lost purpose. I've lost connection. The body follows where the heart leads, and when the heart loses direction, everything begins to crumble. We confuse our mental fatigue with spiritual emptiness, not realizing that the greatest rest the soul can experience is found in remembrance of Allah. Many of us have built lives around comfort instead of conviction. We chase ease while asking Allah for strength, and then wonder why our hearts feel heavy. The truth is, the soul that lacks discipline will always feel burdened, no matter how much it rests. Discipline isn't about pushing yourself beyond limits. It's about aligning your actions with your purpose. It's waking up when you don't feel like it, praying even when your mind is distracted, being patient even when anger feels justified. The undisciplined soul waits for motivation, while the disciplined one moves through consistency. When you say, "I'm tired," ask yourself, tired of what? Tired of trying, or tired of not being connected to the one who gives you strength to keep trying? The believer who keeps Allah at the center of their routine finds energy in obedience. They understand that every act of discipline is not a restriction, but a release from chaos. When you commit to prayer, to dhikr, to moments of silence before your Lord, you begin to see that the exhaustion you felt was never physical, it was the soul begging for nourishment. The more you feed the nafs with distraction, the weaker you become. The more you discipline it with remembrance, the stronger you rise. Discipline is not about perfection, it's about direction. You may fall 1,000 times, but if your heart keeps returning to Allah, you are winning. The undisciplined soul gives up after a setback, but the disciplined soul knows that Allah looks not at how often you fall, but at how sincerely you rise again. Every act of effort is witnessed by Him. Every moment you fight your laziness, your excuses, your desires, that is worship in its purest form. The soul that learns to say no to itself begins to taste the freedom of faith, and that is the beauty of divine discipline. It doesn't drain you, it refines you. It teaches you to prioritize the eternal over the temporary. The reason so many of us feel lost is not because life is too hard, but because our spiritual muscles have gone weak. Just like the body grows through resistance, the soul grows through struggle. Each time you resist your lower self, you are strengthening the heart's ability to stay firm upon truth. Each time you say no to laziness, you say yes to Allah. We must stop labeling our lack of effort as exhaustion. We are not tired, we are distracted. We are not incapable, we are inconsistent. The soul that trains itself in the discipline of remembrance will find peace where others find pressure, will find focus where others find confusion, will find contentment where others find chaos. Because when you are anchored in Allah, you no longer seek rest from the world, you find rest in Him. True discipline is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters most consistently for His sake. And when the soul reclaims that discipline, life stops feeling like a burden. It becomes a journey of purpose, strength, and serenity. Discipline is worship, and worship restores energy. It may sound simple, but when you live it, you realize it's one of the most powerful truths of faith. We often think that obedience to Allah is something that takes from us, that it drains our energy, that it restricts our freedom, that it limits our joy. Yet, in reality, worship is the very source of strength and peace that the soul is longing for. When the believer commits to consistent discipline in prayer, in remembrance, in patience, they don't become weaker, they become spiritually recharged. It's not exhaustion that comes from obedience, it's exhaustion that comes from disconnection. The more you turn away from Allah, the heavier life feels. The more you turn toward Him, the lighter every burden becomes. There is something profound in how Allah designed our worship. 5 daily prayers spread across the day are not interruptions to our schedule, they are reminders of purpose. Fasting is not deprivation, it's purification. Zakat is not loss, it's expansion. Every command is meant to energize the heart, to train the soul to find peace in submission. The disciplined believer understands this rhythm. They know that even when they feel tired, prayer revives them. When they feel uncertain, dhikr grounds them. When they feel restless, Quran heals them. The more disciplined they are in worship, the more effortless their peace becomes. We often look for energy in all the wrong places: in sleep, in food, in entertainment, but the heart doesn't run on the same fuel as the body. The heart draws its strength from sincerity and consistency. That's why you can meet someone who works tirelessly, faces difficulty after difficulty, yet remains content, calm, and resilient. Their secret is simple: They draw energy from Allah through discipline in worship. They've realized that every sujood adds strength, every tasbih adds light, every moment of restraint adds power. The undisciplined soul waits for the right time to feel motivated, but the disciplined soul knows that motivation is born from action. You don't wait to feel close to Allah before you pray to feel close to Allah. You don't wait to feel strong before you act, and Allah strengthens you through it. The act of worship itself is the medicine, not the reward that follows. When you start seeing worship not as a burden but as a blessing, you will find that every moment spent in obedience is a moment of renewal. Discipline in worship also protects you from the chaos of the world. It gives you a rhythm when everything around you feels unpredictable. It reminds you that no matter how busy, broken, or lost you become, you have a place to return to the prayer mat, the remembrance of His name, the quiet tears in sujood. That is where restoration happens. The disciplined believer does not escape from hardship. They rise through it because their connection with Allah gives them inner strength that no worldly source can provide. And here lies the greatest irony. People think discipline limits them, but it actually liberates them. When you discipline your soul through worship, you are no longer controlled by your moods, your desires, or your distractions. You act not because you feel like it, but because you know it pleases Allah. That level of self-mastery is the purest form of freedom. Worship doesn't drain you, it refuels you. It shapes your heart to withstand what once broke you. The one who finds energy in worship never truly burns out, because their source of strength is infinite. When discipline becomes your devotion and worship becomes your rest, you no longer chase peace, you carry it within you. Restoration begins when you surrender, not when you stop. So many people think healing comes when they finally give up, when they distance themselves from everything, when they escape from responsibility, from people, even from their faith. But true restoration is not about running away from life. It's about returning to Allah with a heart that has learned to let go of control. You see, surrender in Islam is not defeat. It's not a sign that you've lost. It's the moment you realize you were never meant to fight alone. Allah never asked you to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. He only asked you to trust Him while you walk through it. And the moment you surrender that burden to Him, that's when healing truly begins. When you stop fighting your circumstances and start trusting the one who controls them, peace slowly settles into your soul. Sometimes Allah places you in situations that force you to stop relying on yourself, your strength, your intelligence, your plans, because He wants you to see that it was never your effort sustaining you in the first place. Every hardship, every delay, every heartbreak has a divine wisdom behind it. When the heart stops resisting and starts submitting, it begins to see beauty even in the storm. You realize that maybe this pain wasn't meant to destroy you, but to redirect you. Maybe the very thing that broke you is what's bringing you closer to the one who can mend you. There's a deep kind of peace that only comes when you stop questioning why and start focusing on who is in control, who has been guiding you all along, who is closer to you than your own jugular vein. When you surrender to that reality, you stop seeing hardship as punishment and start seeing it as preparation. Allah doesn't break a heart unless He intends to rebuild it stronger. He doesn't take something away unless He's replacing it with something better, maybe not something you can see now, but something your soul will one day understand. True surrender doesn't mean you stop trying. It means you try with calmness in your heart, knowing the outcome was never in your hands. It means you continue to make dua, to take action, to stay patient, but you no longer carry anxiety over what will happen next. Because when you trust Allah, you realize that His plan is far more perfect than your expectations. And when that trust takes root, even the hardest moments feel lighter. The storms of life don't shake you the same way anymore, because your anchor is not in people or circumstances, it's in the one who never changes. And when Allah restores, He doesn't just patch up the cracks, He transforms the entire heart. You come out softer, wiser, more compassionate. You stop resenting pain and start appreciating what it taught you. You learn that surrender is not passive, it's the most active form of faith. It takes courage to let go of your illusions of control, to stop saying, I can fix this, and start saying, Ya Allah, you fix this. That moment of surrender, that whisper from a heart that's tired of pretending to be strong, is the exact moment Allah begins to rebuild what was broken. So if you are in a place where you feel like giving up, don't stop. Don't walk away from your prayer, your hope, your trust in Allah. Just surrender. Lay your pain before Him. Tell Him you can't carry it anymore, and you'll see how He carries you through it. Because real healing doesn't happen when life becomes easy. It happens when your heart finally finds rest in the one who never leaves.